Chapter 25. Look out, Centipede, cried James. Look out. Chapter 26. The Centipede, who had begun dancing wildly around the deck during the song, had suddenly gone too close to the downward curving edge of the peach, and for 3 awful seconds he had stood teetering on the brink, swinging his legs frantically in circles in an effort to stop himself from falling over backward into space. But before anyone could reach him, down he went. He gave a shriek of terror as he fell, and the others, rushing to the side and peering over, saw his poor long body tumbling over and over through the air, getting smaller and smaller until it was out of sight. "Silkworm!" yelled James. "Quick! Start spinning!" The silkworm sighed, for she was still very tired from spinning all that silk for the seagulls. But she did as she was told. "I'm going down after him!" cried James, grabbing the silk string as it started coming out of the silkworm and tying the end of it around his waist. "The rest of you hold on to Silkworm so I don't pull her over with me. And later on, if you feel 3 tugs on the string, start hauling me up again." He jumped, and he went tumbling down after the centipede, down, 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 toward the sea below, and you can imagine how quickly the silkworm had to spin to keep up with the speed of his fall. "We'll never see them again!" he cried. Oh dear, just when we're all so happy too." Miss Spider, the glowworm, and the ladybug all began to cry. So did the earthworm. "I don't care a bit about the centipede," the earthworm sobbed, "but I really did love that little boy." Very softly, the old green grasshopper started to play the funeral march on his violin, and by the time he had finished, everyone, including himself, was in a flood of tears. Suddenly, there came 3 sharp tugs on the rope. "Pull!" shouted the old green grasshopper. "Everyone, get behind me and pull!" There was about a mile of string to be hauled in, but they all worked like mad, and in the end, over the side of Peach, there appeared a dripping wet James with a dripping wet centipede clinging to him tightly with all 42 of his legs. "He saved me!" gasped the centipede. "He swam around in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean until he found me." "My dear boy," the old green grasshopper said, patting James on the back, "I do congratulate you." "My boots!" cried the centipede. "Just look at my precious boots. They're ruined by the water." "Be quiet," the earthworm said. "You are lucky to be alive." "Are we still going up and up?" asked James. "We certainly are," answered the old green grasshopper. "It's beginning to get dark." "I know. It'll soon be night." "Why don't we all go down below and keep warm until morning?" Miss Spider suggested. "No," the old green grasshopper said. "I think that would be very unwise. It will be safer we stay up here through the night and keep watch. Then, if anything happens, we shall be ready for it." Chapter 27. James Henry Trotter and his companions crouched close together on top of the Peach as the night began closing in around them. Clouds like mountains towered high above their heads on all sides, mysterious, menacing, overwhelming. Gradually it grew darker and darker, and then a pale 3/4 moon came up over the tops of the clouds and cast an eerie light over the whole scene. The giant peach swayed gently from side to side as it floated along, and the hundreds of silky white strings going upward from its stem were beautiful in the moonlight. So, also, was a great flock of seagulls overhead. There was not a sound anywhere. Traveling upon the Peach was not in the least like traveling in an airplane. The airplane comes clattering and roaring through the sky, and whatever might be lurking secretly up there in the great cloud mountains goes running for cover at its approach. That is why people who travel in airplanes never see anything. But the Peach, ah yes, the Peach was a soft, stealthy traveler, making no noise at all as it floated along, and several times during that night it rode high up over the middle of the ocean in the moonlight. James's friends saw things that no one had ever seen before. Once, as they drifted silently past a massive white cloud, they saw on the top of it a group of strange, tall, wispy-looking things that were about twice the height of ordinary men. They were not easy to see at first because they were almost as white as the cloud itself, but as the Peach sailed closer, it became obvious that these things were actually living creatures. Tall, wispy, wraith-like, shadowy white creatures who looked as though they were made out of a mixture of cotton wool and candy floss and thin white hairs. "Ooh," the ladybug said, "I don't like this at all."